Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about being a rules light player in a rules heavy game. All right, so first of all, let me talk about why this situation is coming up. I am actually going into this exact situation. So a buddy of mine, he is I consider him like my game master Padawan. He came up as a player in a lot of my games, and now he's a full-on game master. He game masters a lot. He's a really exceptional game master. He's very, very good. But me and him, we really have some significant disagreements about what's the best system. I'm just like so down with index card RPG now. It is my main jam. It is super rules light, okay? And my buddy, he is super, super down with Genesis. And Genesis is a great system. It uses narrative dice, but it is rules heavy. It is very rules heavy. First of all, when you start playing that game, you ain't even going to understand. You're not even going to understand how to play for 2 or 3 weeks because of the narrative dice. They are incredibly non-intuitive. Now, it is totally worth powering through and getting to the other side of understanding the narrative dice. And by the way, boy, would I love to see a rules light narrative dice system. Wow. I would love to see that. We're not there yet, but that's another video. Let's keep moving here. So my buddy, he's just like really, really down with Genesis. He runs everything with Genesis the same way I run everything right now with Index Card RPG. And he invites me to every game, and I'm so excited about his settings and so exasperated with his system. And the reason why is it is very, very, it's a system mastery situation. You really have to have system mastery. And I'm just really, as a player, I'm really done with system mastery. I don't want to learn the super weird nuances of, and that book, right? It's going to be the 2 or 3. It's going to be like the 200 or 300 page Genesis book, and we're doing a cyberpunk game, so that's another 200 or 300 pages of the Beanstalk game, of the Shadow of the Beanstalk, the Android Shadow of the Beanstalk. That's like 600 pages of content, right? And we don't know, and actually, I love the content. I love Genesis, but I'm really done with rules heavy games. But this is my friend, and he wants me at the table, and I really like spending time with him. I really like Cyberpunk. I like so much about this except the system, right? So, and the reality is now, so I really needed to figure out a way to be a rules light player at a rules heavy game. Now, so I'm attempting to do this, and I have a plan for it. And I'm going to share that plan with you right now because I think some of you may be in the same spot where you don't really like rules heavy games, but you're getting invited to rules heavy games. And by the way, I think some people consider Dungeons & Dragons 5e rules heavy. In fact, I know that. I know that for a fact. A lot of people don't get that to some people. Yeah, but actually, I don't need to apologize for that. It's 900 pages of content. Like, actually, it's about, you know what? It's at least 800 pages of content. Okay, if you have 800 pages for your core rule books, yeah, you're a rules heavy system. Okay, like let's stop pretending. I know there are people who like to pretend that 5e is a rules light system. It's not. Okay, so how do you do this? How do you accomplish this? Right. So here's my plan. Right. So first of all, there's ways you can accomplish this, and I thought about this carefully, and this is my go forward plan. And so I'm staging this here in case there are other people who have the same problem. And I'm also staging this here in case you're like, oh, hey, I'll listen to your plan, and there's a better way to go about this. So I'm putting this here for people I'm ahead of, and I'm putting this here to get advice from people I'm behind, right? Like, that's how the world works now. Because I'll tell you right now, like, this is the world. I know I'm smarter than a lot of people out there, and I also know there are a lot of people that are smarter than me out there. So you got to be ready to help the people who don't know as much as you, and shut your mouth and listen when somebody who knows more than you is talking, right? Like, you gotta be able to determine when to do which, right? And boy, a lot of people have crashed on the rocks of not being able to make that determination. All right, so let's talk it through. So here we go. First and foremost, I'm gonna pare it down to attributes and skills. Okay, So, yeah, and that's it. So I'm going to just strip away feats. And all the talent trees and all that nonsense. Every experience point I'm going to get, as much as possible, I am literally going to put into skills and attributes, okay? So I'm going to make my attributes go as high as they can possibly go, and that means a ton of experience is just going to sit there until I can do that super expensive, high expensive attribute buy, right? Taking one attribute from a 2 to a 3, right? Attribute buys are incredibly expensive because they help every single roll, but they're a great way to simplify the game. Dumping experience into attributes is a great way to simplify the game. Every time you increase an attribute, it makes every single thing you do better that goes off of that attribute. In addition to that, I'm going to buy skills. Skills is not too complex. I can track, okay, I'm going to take this skill from this amount to this amount. That's not too complex. I don't mind doing that. Also, skills map to your gear, right? I'm going to strip my gear to the absolute bare minimum. 5 pieces of equipment. One ranged weapon, 1 melee weapon, 1 piece of armor, and then 2 craft pieces of equipment. If I'm a detective, that's going to be a magnifying glass. If I'm a sailor, that's going to be rope. So and then 2 pieces of equipment. So 5 pieces of equipment, and then aiming all of my skills at being good at what my main theme is. Okay. Now, how am I going to get away with getting rid of feats? Well, one, I'm not going to put any experience into feats ever. I'm not going to buy any, right? And then second, I'm actually going to literally strip off all the feats that I'm required to buy at the beginning of the game. Now, how am I going to do that? Narratively, right? I'm going to think about my character and say, okay, I have this feat and this feat and this feat. They're all the problem is, and the reason why I really dislike Genesis is they're like, oh, hey, if there are 2 opponents who are coming at you, then you could take 2 black dice out of the pool, 2 setback dice out of the pool if this really rare, weird situation comes up, right? And that's why I really dislike Genesis. It's got 15 things on your sheet that if this strange situation comes up, this weird feat that's sitting on your sheet now becomes applicable. And I'm like, I'm not tracking all that nonsense. It's just frustrating, and I'm not down for it, right? Like, and so that's one of the things is like I'm just not into these rules heavy system mastery games anymore. I really like rules light. When I get a feat, I want it to matter, right? I don't give 2 farts for you taking 2 setback dice or +2 in this weird situation, right? And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, it's because you've never read Index Card RPG. When you read Index Card RPG and you see feats that matter, right? Like, you get when you get like an Index Card RPG, all your gear is lit. Like, you don't even have skills. You get essentially you get feats through equipment, right? And there you can get like sneaky boots, right? And it says all stealth skills are easy. That's awesome, and it's simple, and you can't forget it. That's what I love about Index Card RPG, is the gear you get is so awesome, it's unforgettable. And the stuff you get in Genesis is so mundane and picayune, you instantly forget it. And that's what frustrates me and why I have no patience for Genesis. Okay, but I want to play in this Cyberpunk game. I want to spend time with my friends. So this is my attempt to get there, right? So these feats, I'm going to strip them off the character, right? So there's going to be like 2 or 3 of these minimal feats that I had to get at the beginning, and I don't want to deal with them, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to narratively say, in each game I'll be like, oh, I remember that time when I had to rescue my friend Sally, and those dogs were just biting at me, and this one skill that I got at this time, I'm now having traumatic memories, and I no longer know how to remember how to use that. I'm removing it from my sheet, right? Because my character has a psychological block for using that ability. Done, right? And again, like, this is really strange. Now, I know I can hear you. You're all out there like, whoa, Scott, this is weird. You're taking skills off your character? Yes, I am, right? Now, why am I doing this? Well, one, I've been invited to this game. Like, I didn't ask to be in it. Like, I'm being requested to be at the game. And I'm excited about that. I really do like to play tabletop role-playing games. I love the cyberpunk genre. I absolutely love the storytelling that this specific game master is capable of. But I really dislike these rules-heavy games anymore. And they're not bad games. It's just like, what you got to understand is the difference. What is the difference with these things, right? Well, I can explain it to you. The difference is, it's the difference between riding in an RV, a recreational vehicle, and hiking, right? I like to hike. I want a backpack on me. I want to feel the wind on my face. And I want to stop and talk to people. And like these rules-heavy systems, they just feel like I'm in a tin can, and I really can't experience the world when I'm in there. And I've just had so much fun, and I feel like rescued from system mastery by games like Index Card RPG and these rules-light games, that I really have a hard time going back to these rules-heavy games. So this is going to be my attempt, and I'm hoping my game master gives me the ability to play this way. Now, you guessed it. I hear you out there. You're like, Scott, your character's going to be terrible. You are 100% correct. This is going to be a very suboptimal build. No two ways about it. I am incredibly comfortable with suboptimal builds. I have no problem with suboptimal builds. All I care about in the game is narrative. That's all I care about. I don't care about doing 5 more points of damage or, making sure that I succeed on every roll. I want there to be an interesting story. I want to meet compelling characters. I want to see a beautiful, strange, dangerous world. And I don't need an awesome character to do that. All right? And also, I'm not afraid of character death. I find rolling up new characters fun. So if this character dies, I got a million character ideas in my head. It's not a problem, right? So it will be a suboptimal build. But I think that's okay, and I think this is a good plan to go forward. I think this is going to work, but I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think this is a terrible idea, and that this will not work, and me trying to play as a rules-light player in a rules-heavy game is going to be a catastrophic failure, even though my intent is to just sit at the table with my friends? I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.